Good morning, Saints. I was reading a book by N.T. Wright called Simply Jesus. And in chapter 1, he titles A Very Odd Sort of King. And it's not anything new, but he brings a little bit of a different slant to it that I thought I would present today. The picture he begins to paint comes out of Luke chapter 19, verses 36 and 37. Now I go up about verse 44. Let's take a look at that. Luke 19, beginning in verse 37. I'm reading from the New King James. Then as he was now drawing near the descent of the Mount of Olives, the whole multitude of the disciples began to rejoice and praise God with a loud voice for all the mighty works they had seen, saying, Blessed is the King who comes in the name of the Lord. Peace in heaven and glory in the highest. And some of the Pharisees called to him from the crowd, Teacher, rebuke your disciples. But he answered and said unto them, I tell you that if these should keep silent, the stones would immediately cry out. Now as he drew near, he saw the city and wept over it, saying, If you had known, even you, especially in this your day, the things that make for your peace, but now they are hidden from your eyes. For the days will come upon you when your enemies will build an embankment around you, surround you and close you in on every side, and level you and your children within to the ground. They will not leave you in one stone upon another, because you did not know the time of your visitation. N.T. Wright had written in the beginning of the chapter about how the king had come, but he wasn't the king that they expected. He says he wasn't like the monarchs of old who sat on their jeweled and ivory thrones, dispensing their justice and wisdom, nor was he the great warrior king some had wanted. He didn't raise an army and ride into battle at its head. He was riding on a donkey. And he was weeping. Weeping for the dream that had to die. Weeping for the sword that would pierce his supporters to the soul. Weeping for the kingdom that wasn't coming, as well as for the kingdom that was. While the people were celebrating when Jesus was riding into the city on the back of the colt, Jesus' heart was heavy. He wasn't celebrating with them because they didn't understand. Just as he said here in the text, if you had known, even you, especially in this your day, the things that make for your peace. We think we know what we want, but he knows better. The king we think he is not the king he is, but more. N.T. Wright emphasizes this a little bit later on when he writes, you see, the reason Jesus wasn't the sort of king people had wanted in his own day, to anticipate our conclusion, he says, is that he was the true king. But they had become used to the ordinary, shabby, second-rate sort. They were looking for a builder to construct the home they thought they wanted. But he was the architect, coming with a new plan that would give them everything they needed, but within quite a new framework. When we stop making Jesus something that we think he should be, recognize him for who he is, we have a much better result. We get a much richer inheritance. We have a deeper experience with the king. Is he king of our plans? Or is he king of his plans for us? Are we willing to submit to him things beyond what we can experience and imagine right now? That's a tough thing. Jesus came to his own, and they rejected him. Is he coming to his own again today and being rejected? Is he coming to his own today and being perceived as something other than what he truly is? He asked Pontius Pilate, who do you say I am? Fitting question. But just as fitting is our question to him. Jesus, who do you say you are? That's important for us to answer if we're to worship the true king and not some sort of odd king of our own making. When we go into the world, let's remember that. To worship the true King, present the true King to the world, and his call to them to be restored back into a kingdom of justice and righteousness. We have a great message to give to the world. We begin with presenting the true King. Blessings.